Hey, what's up everyone? Today we're going to have a look at the PlayStation 4 Dualshock 4 controller and just to have a look at some of the problems that I've been having, and from what I can tell on the internet a fair few other people have been having, especially with the rubber on the analog sticks wearing away. That seems to be a major issue, and it's happened to me on all of my controllers, and I've got a couple of examples here that I'm going to show you. So this is the controller that I've had since launch that came with the console. And you know, I've played a fair bit on it. I've been playing a fair bit of FIFA 14, a bit of Lego Marvel Heroes, a bit of Resogun, mostly just FIFA. And you can see that the rubber on that left analog has just completely come off. Look at that. I mean, obviously I kept playing with it. Once it got a little tear in there, I just sort of kept playing with it, and then eventually it just sort of completely breaks. But what you'll see is, as you're playing, you can just sort of feel the rubber just thinning out and smoothing out, and you can see on top there, it's kind of, you can see how it's also smoothed out. Compare that to the right analog, which is in pretty pristine condition. I guess you don't really use that one as much in games like FIFA, and you see how here on the left analog it's just, it smooths out, and because what's happening is it's just sort of keeps thinning out. It's basically just disintegrating the more you keep using it. And I don't know if it's just a reaction to the sweat on people's hands or what it is, but it just keeps sort of thinning out, and you can see bits of it sort of flaking off in between your fingers and stuff, and then eventually it just comes off. And so I've seen people on the internet saying, you know, like, oh, it's got to be your fingernails, don't dig your fingernails. And I mean, look, I don't have any fingernails. I'm not digging my fingernails into it. It's just the pressure of your thumb, and probably combined with the sweat or whatever, and it just, they've used some really sort of soft rubber, and it just keeps thinning out. It wastes away. That rubber just wastes away, and eventually it's so thin that it breaks at that join there, and then bits of it just start coming off. So that's happened to me on a couple of controllers now, and I've exchanged them, but from what I can tell, it's just going to keep happening unless they've actually changed the manufacturing process or whatever. That's just going to keep happening. So I would say probably get some grips. Get some rubber grips, which, I mean, sucks, but that's probably what you're going to have to do, because that, I mean, that doesn't take long. That if you play intensively, Call of Duty, Battlefield, FIFA, whatever it is, if you play something for extended periods, you'll see eventually that's gonna happen to it. I've got another example here, same thing again. Look at that one. It's just completely, and it's the same spot, because that's kind of my style of playing, is sort of, I really sort of push it that way. I guess if I was to push it up that way or whatever, then it would probably start peeling off on that side. I guess it's really, but most people probably, that's how you use it a lot, and it just seems to sort of peel away. So that's one of the issues. The other issue, I've seen a lot of people saying about the R1 and the L1 button sticking, and that happens as well. That looks like there's a fix for that one. The other issue I've got is that the R2 trigger actually just breaks. Again, I mean, probably would happen, the same thing will probably happen to the L2 at some point as well, but I guess the R2 just holding it more and using it more, and eventually it just breaks. And you'll see that on this one. You'll see on that trigger, when you push down, that spring stops it from springing back up, and so you'll see there's that bit of give, and so that spring is just busted, and it basically just becomes unusable. You'll see there, you can push it down and then it just gets stuck and it doesn't spring up. So the L2, fine, nice and springy. R2 just gets stuck and it just loses its give. I guess if you kind of snap it like that, it still seems to work, but you'll see there, when you push it down, it just gets stuck. And so this other controller here, I've actually opened it up There's some good videos on YouTube already from people who have opened their controllers up. Not very hard to do. And when you open it, you can basically see what the fault is with that trigger. You'll see there that just little bit of plastic on that pin that just comes off. And I'll show you, this is the L2 trigger, and you can just see what the difference is between them there. I'll get a nice good close-up of that so you can see, and basically what it is just that pin. There's the good trigger, 2 little pins on either side, and on the broken one that pin has just completely come off, and it looks to be just sort of some sort of contaminant. There's a bit of you can see there's some grime, and there's a little metal pin around there as well, and it just gets a bit of grime on it, and that grime seems to just sort of eat away at the plastic, and eventually it just breaks off. So yeah, that's it. I mean, looks like a couple of sort of fundamental flaws in the manufacturing process of the DualShock 4. I mean, it's a great controller, and this rubber actually really feels nice when it's new, but it's really soft, and the way it starts peeling, and I guess, I mean, at the end of the day, if you just have to put some grips on there or whatever, not a problem. But what really irked me is just the way that these triggers just break. I mean, because that's not fixable, that you just got to take it back. So I mean, Sony is saying, you know, the controllers have a 12-month warranty, so everyone can keep replacing them, I guess, because this, I can't see how this is just not going to keep happening. That's just seems to be bad build quality. So it'll be interesting to see just how many people get this issue, or get these issues, and how long before Sony sort of step up and admit there's a fault. Maybe they already fixed it in the new batches, I'm not sure. I mean, early adopters always pay a bit of a price, but there you go. Hope this helps. Thanks for watching.